Hello everybody and welcome back to another tier list video. Oh, piss. Now I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I finally found a new topic to make it on. Now, if you know, recently I have played and 100% beaten the game Mimic, and today I'm going to be ranking all 22 monsters in Mimic, simply based on how scary they are. We have 5 tiers over here. You can take a look at them if you wish. But yeah, off we go. Now, in case you're wondering why all the dibbity-doodads from the Halloween event aren't here, that's because I never actually played the Halloween event to begin with. And I missed it. And now it's gone forever. So, yeah, these are all of the monsters that are right now, in Mimic. So, we're going to be ranking all 22 of them. I got all these images from the Mimic Wiki, so credits to them. I honestly could not be asked to memorize all their names, but I do know 4. I think 4. Whatever. Let's get started. These monsters are in order of which I encountered them in game. Yeah, let's go. Alright, the first monster is Tall Girl from Chapter 1. She never really scared me that much, but the singular eyeball in her socket during her jump scare was pretty scary. Her intro sequence I honestly found rather lame, and I only just noticed that there are cracks in her arms, which I never really noticed. Honestly, overall, this monster really didn't startle me as much as the others, so I think I'm a shover intolerable. It only feels like the correct spot for this monster. Alright, let's carry on. Alright, next up we have the statues from the cave in Chapter 1. The statues, there's only like 4 active ones. Basically, when you get close, they start chasing you, and they appear in groups. I never found them all that scary. Getting around them is extremely easy. I don't know why statues would generally scare anybody as a person, but yeah, they have literally no scary traits to them. They're literally just a stone version of Tall Girl, but a lot lamer. Plus, even if I remember the actual names of the characters, I'll probably just butcher them to death, so let's not do that. Alright, well, we're gonna put the statues in didn't even try, because it honestly never scared me at all. Doesn't even have a proper chase or chase theme. Okay. Also, I forgot to mention, mazes. This character's maze is honestly pretty mediocre and kind of hard to get the hang of. The wooden texture kind of drove me crazy. But I learned the spot of the key in the door, so now it really isn't all that bad. I barely encounter her in the maze. Alright, now it's time for the Biwa wielding character. She only ever appears once. Yeah, she is on the first floor of the hotel in literally the most piss-poor maze in the whole game. Like, it's so goddamn easy, a goddamn caveman could do it. Like, literally, the maze is split into a whopping 3 different hallways. There's a 2-sectored path, left leads to that end, and right leads to the path to the exit, which is blocked by, the Biwa antagonist. You can literally easily juke her, and that's that, and she isn't even all that scary. She's also very easy to hear because of her music, and yeah, she has a very weird chase pattern. She loses you very easily, and I generally am not that big of a fan. In terms of scariness, I think I'll put her in here. At least she's scarier than the statues, I'll give her that. Alright. The last monster of Chapter 1, the crawlers on the 2nd floor of the hotel. The hotel maze, 2nd floor, it's kinda easy. Like, I died once, but, I kinda got the hang of it. Okay, I gotta agree, these things are honestly kinda scary. Judging that there's also 2 of these crackers in the maze. Their breathing noises, and, the fact that they can generally just cut you off is kinda scary to me. And their jump scare is also pretty irritating, kinda like, Tall Girls over here. Yeah, honestly, I find these, assholes pretty scary. But, yeah, imagine if they crawled on the ceilings. That would be absolutely terrifying. They would instantly be moved to abominable. Alright, let's carry on. Chapter 2 monsters. Monster number 5, we have the long neck character. She only ever shows up for a short time, and she can really corner you on that staircase, which can be pretty annoying. In terms of scariness, Kind of the same with tall girl over here. Yeah. Long neck is tolerable-ish, but she is kind of scary as a character. Also, the help me scene was pretty scary, so I think I'm gonna move her up to scary. She's pretty terrifying. Also, the chase back to the door, avoiding her in the library can be pretty scary, so in scary you go, I guess. Alright, so next up we have Six Arms, our great-great-grandfather, apparently. Or was it great-grandfather? I forgot. Yeah, this is Phase 1 of the character. He shows up again in Chapter 4. He barely appears in Chapter 2. Like, he appears in, like, a long hallway, and he also has a maze of his own, which I wouldn't say is as easy as, the Biwa Monsters maze, but it's still pretty easy. This character never really scared me. It honestly never did. Like, its tall appearance was kind of spooky. The Chapter 2 end sequence was pretty scary. Honestly, I never was scared of this character. Like, he never really chased me. He never really did anything. His jump scare is literally just a long lady's jump scare. I'll just shove her in not scary. Alright. The doll. Oh, Jesus Christ, the doll. They appear scattered around the hospitals like little props. Honestly, if you've been watching me for a while, you should know that I'm absolutely mortified of dolls, but I wouldn't say that they're, like, my worst fear or anything, but if there's a horror cliche that I absolutely hate, it has to be dolls. Honestly, I don't know why. We'll just, shove her in Abominable real quick, because yeah, she moves at unnatural speeds. She can even make you hallucinate and can cut you off really fast. And her jump scare is also pretty scary too, so I don't know why. I hate her when she cuts you off right when you're at the last Butterfly Spirit. Like, I died at least 3 times there before I actually got out of the hospital. Ugh. And yeah, we did encounter her again as an Easter egg in a Christmas trial, so that was fantastic. I hope that I never encounter you again in this time of me playing this game. Alright. Okay, Soma. Who doesn't know Soma? One of the only characters that I actually don't know the name of. The Control Spirit, the main antagonist of Book 1. She appears as, like, the final antagonist of Chapter 2, too. This is only her first phase. I wouldn't put her in Abominable, but her speed is kind of scary. Her jump scare is honestly a little bit goofy, and the maze is a pain. You have to find the exact right garden in a maze of 3 gardens. I got pretty lucky. I got extremely lucky that I found the right garden, and didn't have to look for all 3 of them. Yeah, safe houses are your savior, even if you can get jump scared inside of them. Yeah, overall I don't really know what to say. All part of scary. She isn't the scariest thing ever, but I guess that this is her place. Alright, that's Chapter 2 done and over with. It's time for Chapter 3. We have Michael Jackson asshole as the first and 9th antagonist of Mimic entirely, but the first of Chapter 3. Honestly, same as Tall Girl from Chapter 1. He's one of the first male enemies. The top hat kind of ruined it for me, and he's built off Michael Jackson. Like, he's literally a reference to him, which made him a lot less scarier. I gotta give it that, his jump scare is pretty scary. Yeah, we never really encountered him all that much, and, you can literally cheese his entire chase sequence with the lights. The maze is very open, it's full of trees, and it really reminds me of Slendytubbies. I'm guessing the maze was inspired by Slendytubbies, so, honestly, he goes intolerable. His speed is about the same as Soma, I believe, I'm not too sure. Alright, intolerable he goes. Alright, second enemy of Chapter 3, we have Slitmouth. It bears a striking resemblance to the Biwa monster from Chapter 1, but older? I'm not too sure what to think of this thing. Like, it is pretty scary, I'll give it that. I don't like how it can phase in and out of view. The flower crown is also pretty scary. And generally, I don't like how it floats. And it also loves to camp the maze. The maze actually had me pissed off a few times, and it's generally pretty scary. Also, the jump scare is absolutely terrifying, so I gotta give it that. Honestly, I'll have to go for Abominable. The skull maze was, ugh. Yeah, this thing's pretty goddamn scary. Alright, let's carry on. Next up we have Soma, Phase 2, the 11th enemy of the Mimic overall. Honestly, as much as I hate to say it, this thing never really scared me at all. It never directly chases the player, its jump scare is pretty lame. Its design, honestly, I never was scared of this thing. The Skull Pillars thing is also, easy to learn, hard to master. Yeah, I'm sorry, but never scared me. Never scared me, honestly. Alright, and that's Chapter 3, done and over with. Only 3 enemies in this chapter. I believe that this is the chapter with least enemies, so, yeah, let's carry on. Okay, next up we have the protagonist's mother. Okay, something interesting about this character. I know they guys may be like, hey, why the hell are you including this character in the tier list? She only ever appears like 3 times and that's it for her. No, I know that she only appears as like a jump scare for 2 or 3 times, a really cheap jump scare for that matter. But in Nightmare Mode, she acts like the protagonist's dad. She literally is a reskinned dad. She takes his place in Nightmare Mode, and she is the antagonist. I'm never going to play Nightmare Mode, but it's not worth checking out. But yeah, she is an antagonist, but only in Nightmare Mode. There's nothing interesting to it, only the model is replaced on this character, so, yeah. Let's take it in terms of, well, the character in normal mode. It only ever appears a few times and never appears ever again. But the design is pretty scary, so... in not scary you go. Alright, next up we have the mannequins. They literally are Weeping Angels, SCP-173, Gold Watchers, whatever you will. They're not scary, they're literally just mannequins. I do not see how the concept of a mannequin could, genuinely terrify a person. They never scared me. Their face does change in their jump scare, but the jump scare isn't even all that scary. Just never scared me whatsoever. Alright, next up we have protagonist's dad. The school maze is a bit iffy, but honestly, I hate to say it, but it's kind of fun. Yeah, his jump scare is also pretty scary too, and the barbed wire is pretty eerie around his mouth. Yeah, his speed is also pretty eerie, and I generally don't like the footsteps of this character. So, he'll have to go in scary. Alright, in scary he goes. Alright, next up we have Six Arms, Phase 2. In this phase, he lost 2 of his arms. Why? That's beyond my explanation. Like, literally, his face has changed, he has red eyes, and he lost 2 of his arms. He also wields swords now. This character never scared me in Chapter 2, and he still doesn't scare me in Chapter 4. It's more or less the same character, and he's also extremely annoying. His jump scare is also way too over-exaggerated, and I died way too many goddamn times. Bushes don't even work half the time, even when he doesn't see you hide, and his AI is generally very buggy, so... more annoying than scary, really. Alright, let's carry on. Okay, next up we have Soma, Final Phase, the final boss of Chapter 4. Honestly, she goes in scary. I don't like how she can crawl on ceilings, and her laughter can be a bit unsettling, but her chase and generally the whole scariness of the character can entirely be cheesed with cabins. So, the heart mechanic is also extremely annoying. They take way too many hits to die. Also, I don't like the multiple endings. Like, if you get one ending of Book 1, you have to play through the entirety of Chapter 4 again to see the ending, which is the primary reason why I looked at the bad ending on YouTube. I'm extremely lucky that I got the good ending. I honestly just wanted to kill her once I was done with Book 1, like, she's the cause of all my goddamn pain and suffering during these Let's Plays, so, Also, her jump scare, not a fan of her jump scare, never really liked that. And also the heart maze is way too big and wide open. Those are some of the cons, but the character is generally pretty scary. And she's also extremely hard to hear if you haven't destroyed 3 hearts yet, so... yeah. I'll put it up there. Okay, that's Chapter 4, the chapter with most enemies so far. Excluding any extras, okay, whatever. let's move on to the extras. Let's move on to the extra tidbits. We're moving on to the witch trials. We have the flesh bags. Here they are. I know that they all have different masks, but it honestly doesn't change the character as a whole. They're pretty slow moving. The maze is kinda dark, but quite easy to get around with. I like the mechanic of having to steal their masks, having to steal their identity. That's a really cool mechanic, but it does get pretty annoying in the last maze of witch trials with the twins. Flashbacks are honestly not that bad. They're honestly tolerable. We'll have to shove them intolerable. Intolerable they go. Alright. Let's proceed with the next monster in Witch Trials, the Forest Maze. Dear Jesus, the Forest Maze. We have Sad Girl. She is the primary antagonist of the Forest Maze. She roams around at a slow speed, about the same as Sprint, and she's quite hard to outrun. Also, I don't like the mechanic of bushes being either safe, either not. It's by complete RNG if they will even work, which is honestly a pretty bad mechanic. I like the jump scare. I like the jump scare on this character. The noises it makes are literally the same as the red-eyed snake, which is the secondary antagonist, which we will get to later. But overall, yeah. I do not know where to put this character. Like, I like it. It's pretty scary. I guess I can put it in scary. Also, I do find the Forest Maze kind of unfair for reasons you shall see later, but okay. Alright. Let's carry on. Next up, we have, the Red-Eyed Snake Crawler. Instantly and abominable, no further words said. This thing is, absolutely horrific, needless to say. It crawls at a faster speed than you. I do not like its footsteps. It has the most common chance of catching you off guard in bushes, and it ended most of my runs, this creature. I don't think I was killed once by Sad Girl. Actually, I do think I was killed a few times by her. He also loves to camp the house, and I also think that the Forest Maze is a bit unfair because the dig spots are near impossible to find. Honestly, and the skull snake just camping spots made it 10 times worse, and the creature's also scary within itself. I am kind of sad that this creature shares the same jump scare with Sad Girl. I'm honestly kind of sad about that, but eh. I wonder what his jump scare would have been like if he had a unique jump scare of his own. Yeah. Alright. Easily and abominable. Alright. It's time for the twins of what I do find to be the hardest, shittiest, most aggravating maze of the witch trials, and Mimic as a whole. This maze can go burn in hell. Literally watch my witch trials video and you'll see instantly what I mean. I'm not even going to bother going over mechanics. I am done. I hate this maze with all my heart. I'm only gonna rank the characters. You guys can go watch the Witch Trials episode. I'll link it somewhere, I don't know. Just ask for it in the comments and I'll answer. 20th enemy in Mimic, we have, the non-scary twin. Yeah, honestly, her design never really scared me. She doesn't even wield anything, she only wields a stick. I do like the ribcage design, though. Overall, just looks generically very normal, so I'll put her in not scary. Never really scared me at all. The jump scare isn't all that great either, so I'll just shove her in not scary. And honestly, same goes for the other twin. They're more or less the same characters. I don't even know why we needed twin enemies in Mimic, but I guess we have them now, so... In not scary, they both go. They're more or less the same character. I'm not going over mechanics, just watch my Witch Trials video. Alright, and that's Witch Trials. Same amount of characters as Chapter 4, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters in Chapter 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters in Witch Trials, even though it's an extra. So it's the extra of most characters. Alright, it's time for Christmas Trials. The extra of least characters, and the game mode in general with least characters. Only one. Krampus, a character that we actually know the name of. Krampus never really scared me. His jump scare is pretty cool. I do like the voice acting on it, so that's pretty cool. Also, the broomstick kind of ruined it for me. The red animation is also pretty cool, and his maze can easily be cheesed if you just go under desks. If he ever finds you when you're in the sled area, you're as good as dead. It's like signing your own death warrant if he ever catches you there. There's no way of juking him, and that I find very unfair. I don't like how you have to grab a key off of him in the very end of Christmas Trials, but his house, can you even call it a maze? It's literally just a house. It's alright. But I was an idiot and it took me forever to find the last goddamn toy. Right. As for where I'd put him, honestly I'd put him in tolerable. He never really scared me, but We'll put him over there. His jump scare is also pretty loud. And I do believe it comes from Five Nights at Maggie's, a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, the jump scare sound. Alright, that is all 22 mimic monsters that are currently in the game. This will obviously be updated when Book 2 concludes. It hasn't even released yet. And honestly, it's not going to release anytime soon. Let's just save it. Alright. Let's go over the tier list one last time. We're going to almost full zoom in. Whatever. How does this look with full zoom in? Pretty bad. Alright, let's go over the tier list. And didn't even try, we have the statues from Chapter 1, Soma Phase 2 from Chapter 3, and the mannequins from Chapter 4. And not scary, we have the Biwa monster from Chapter 1, Six Arms Phase 1 from Chapter 2, the protagonist's mother, Six Arms Phase 2 from Chapter 4, and the two twins from the Witch Trials. I forgot their name. I think it was like Futeo Mote or something, I don't know. Probably completely butchered that. Alright, Intolerable, we have the Tall Girl from Chapter 1, we have Michael Jackson from Chapter 3, we have the Fleshbacks from the Witch Trials, and Krampus from Christmas Trials. In Scary, we have the Crawlers from Chapter 1, the Longneck from Chapter 2, Soma Phase 1 from Chapter 2, the Protagonist's Father from Chapter 4, Soma Phase 3 from Chapter 4, and Sad Girl from Witch Trials. And in Abominable, we have the Doll from Chapter 2, the Slit-Mouthed Woman from Chapter 3, and the Skull Snake from Witch Trials. And that's it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you have, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. It's completely free and it helps me out a lot. I post 2 times a day and I stream on Saturday. I have a join button, make sure to push that and I have a link tree about my page. These links to each and every single one of my social media accounts. You can sort of find me anywhere, everywhere. See you later.